Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about 3D references, which is also a way to basically do a formula across a lot of different sheets, but in a way to do it much quicker, right? So I'm going to leave the original thing that we did in the last video over here, and I'm going to create a new one over here that says April to June. Let's just do April to June using the 3D formula, right? So we're just going to bold that. Remember, the shortcut key to do that was Control B. You can actually bold any range that you've highlighted or the current cell if you're on it. So the way to do this and to show you how it's actually much easier is I say equals to the sum formula. So I'm typing this in, and what you do is you basically equals, you're going to do opening up this, and the way we're now going to do it is we go to the first sheet, right, and we click on the cell, right? So I'm on this particular cell over here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do basically a grouping of all the sheets. So after I've clicked on this is the cell that I want to add, B4. I've done it on the first sheet only, but I want to add it across all of these sheets, April, May, and June. So I keep my shift key in and I click on June, right? And the moment I did that, you can see it changed the formula to say sum of April to June B4, right? And now I can basically hit the enter key. And the moment I did that, it basically, it's summing up everything from April to June. Okay, it's not equal to this one because remember, this is including July. So you can see that was a lot quicker. Like if I had 12 sheets, I could just click on the first one and then go to the end one and just type in one formula. And I didn't have to go into each and every sheet in order to basically copy it, right? I'm just going to double click this to copy all the formulas down, and I'm just going to do a quick format painter, clicking on format painter, copying this formatting, and then I click on column C, and then it does the formatting across. Now, all right, now let me show you what's really useful about this. What's really useful about this is, let's say now I wanted to bring July in, right? This thing is already doing April to June. Now, the key thing about using a 3D reference is you shouldn't change, the order of the first sheet and the last sheet, right? April to June, because it's looking and saying from April to June, all of these sheets, I should basically sum it up, right? Now, if I basically take July, now remember right now they don't equal to each other, all right? But if I take July and I drag the July sheet in between here, right? Let's say I put it just there, right? Now it's basically saying copy from April to June, but July is included, and you can see they're now equal to each other. It's basically automatically summed up July once I've actually done that. Now the key thing is, if you move June out of here, you can actually cause problems because April to June will then include the consolidated sheet. So you've got to be careful that when you're doing the 3D reference, whatever the first sheet is, which is April here, and the last sheet, which is June, don't actually move those out. And then whatever's in between them is also going to be added. So you just think of it that way. So if I wanted to, for example, exclude July out of it again, now remember right now they equal, remember this was manually done, April, May, June, July, and this is the 3D reference over there. April, it's saying April to June, but remember April to June is including July because July is over there, and that's why you see they're exactly equal. And if I drag July out of it, all right, instantly it's adjusted the formula to actually only include April to June based on that. So this is actually a lot easier in terms of actually, you could add new months in. So every time I add a new month in, it would be very quick. As long as the structure was exactly the same, I would literally just drag it into that range, and automatically this formula would sum up that way. So this is the big advantage of a 3D reference, right? You can, of course, delete sheets that are in between. So if I deleted May, it would actually automatically just get excluded. So let's just do this. Let me just create a copy of May to show you, right? So I'm going to create a copy. So we're actually duplicating May's results. So right now, for example, you can see, let's just add July in here so you can see how it works. So right now, April, they're both equal, right? This is actually manually adding up April to July. Now, if I actually drag this May 2, which is a duplicate, into that, you can see this number is now higher because it's including actually May's numbers twice, the one in May 2 and the one in May, right? I mean, obviously you wouldn't do that in practice. I'm just doing this for the sake of an illustration. Now, here's the thing. If in this range of April to June, it's summing up all these worksheets, and if I delete any one of them, right, it basically would immediately change the values, right? Now, in this particular instant, if you deleted, for example, June, the worksheet of any of these worksheets that are a reference, you'd actually throw up errors. And that's another advantage of the 3D references. You can delete actual sheets in between, and it won't throw up any errors. It'll automatically just work from this range of worksheets. But again, remember, the key thing is make sure you actually look very carefully at what's in between these, the starting sheet, which is April, and the ending sheet, which is June, according to the formula. All right, so in the follow-up video, I'm going to cover another way to do data consolidation. And I just want to make one final point. When we are doing things in Excel, you'll very often find that there's more than one way to achieve the same outcome. So there's very often multiple routes that will give you that will get you to the same end result. You can use different functions, you can use different features. Some may be quicker than others. So just remember, there isn't necessarily a one single way to do things, or single right way to get to a particular result. Very often there may be more than one way you can get to the same end result. But what you will often find, though, is that one particular method may be a lot more efficient or effective than another, even though they both may get you to the same end result.